and bearing witness that none has the right to be worshipped or unconditionally obeyed except Allah, and we bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his final messenger. We ask Allah to send his peace and blessings upon him, the prophets and messengers who came before him, his family and companions who served alongside him, and those who follow in their blessed path until the day of judgment. We ask Allah to make us among them. My dear brothers and sisters, there is a topic that frequently arises when discussing the pursuit of hidayah or guidance from Allah. The Quran makes it abundantly clear that guidance does not simply come to a person without effort. One must actively seek it, and it will not reach someone who is unwilling or undeserving. This is why in our prayers we consistently ask Allah to guide us to the straight path, to make it clear to us, to keep us firm upon it, and to help us follow the way of those who have earned Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's favor, the prophets, the righteous, and the companions. We ask Allah to allow us to follow in their footsteps, to grant us sincerity in this journey, and to protect us from straying from this path. Seeking guidance is a noble endeavor, but it requires dedication, willingness, and active pursuit on our part. Often, when people say, "I'm lost, I don't know how to find myself," it is clear that they are not fully prepared to make the effort required to attain true guidance. Let me begin with a story to illustrate this point. It is the story of Abdullah, the chief rabbi of Medina before the Prophet ﷺ arrived. He embraced Islam immediately upon witnessing the sincerity of the Prophet ﷺ. The sincerity of his heart aligned with his intellectual pursuit and the longing of his soul for the messenger, so he accepted Islam wholeheartedly. Abdullah had a dream in which he found himself in a garden. In this garden, there was a pole with a handhold at the top. He was instructed to climb and grasp it, but he could not reach it on his own. When he inquired with the angel about his inability, the angel assisted him in ascending to the top, where he grasped the handhold firmly and did not let go. He awoke still holding it. The Prophet ﷺ explained that the garden represented Islam and paradise, and the handhold symbolized the steadfast grip upon Allah's guidance that keeps one firm. It is significant that the handhold was at the very top. This imagery conveys the idea of a person holding on to a grip that is otherwise inaccessible, representing the individual whose heart is steadfast, anchored in the remembrance of Allah, and connected to Him. In contrast, the Quran also depicts the condition of a distracted, turbulent heart, one that never finds peace and is unsettled. Imagine a person falling from the sky, unable to anchor themselves, being carried away and scattered by external forces, eventually landing in a remote, unknown place. This portrays those whose hearts are unanchored, tossed about by worldly distractions, fluctuating pursuits, and inconsistent attachments, never finding stability or peace. The contrast is striking. One heart is anchored, tranquil, and steadfast, while another is lost, scattered, and chaotic. This spiritual imagery reflects the state of many people. The settled heart achieves peace because it is anchored in something real, meaningful, and consistent, allowing it to withstand any storm or hardship. The turbulent heart, however, is easily swayed and eventually left in chaos. To achieve this anchoring, one must establish a strong connection to Allah through regular remembrance, sincere worship, and disciplined spiritual practices. Equally important is creating a stabilizing environment that protects the heart from destabilizing influences. A heart can remain tranquil when surrounded by supportive surroundings but becomes vulnerable in a chaotic or harmful environment. The Prophet ﷺ described the heart as being like a feather blown around by the wind. Even a peaceful heart can be unsettled if placed in a turbulent environment. Therefore, one must carefully consider both what anchors the heart and the environment to which it is exposed. Reflect upon your daily life. How anchored is your heart in dhikr and remembrance of Allah? What types of environments, influences, and companions do you expose yourself to regularly? Even the most pious individuals are affected by their surroundings, whether personally, within their families, or in broader communities. A household or society without shared values, moral consistency, or clear guidance is prone to chaos. Individuals may live together physically, but without collective grounding, their pursuits remain personal and scattered, eventually causing disruption and disharmony. Spiritual practice, therefore, must be sincere and grounded. It is not merely a comfort to the heart, but a clarifying force that organizes thought, intention, and behavior. Gratitude, dhikr, and mindfulness within an Islamic framework provide purpose, clarity, and inner peace, arranging life in harmony with Allah's guidance. The imagery of the handhold and the turbulent heart also extends to societal and community life. Those who are spiritually anchored contribute stability, purpose, and cohesion, while those whose hearts are unsettled may propagate confusion, distraction, and disorder. A settled heart that holds firmly onto Allah's guidance provides strength to withstand challenges, loss, and adversity. The turbulent heart, conversely, is easily influenced by materialism, fleeting trends, and superficial pursuits, leaving one directionless and scattered. Individuals must, therefore, actively seek anchoring and ensure their hearts remain connected to Allah, even amidst worldly distractions. The Prophet ﷺ's frequent supplication, "O turner of hearts, make our hearts firm on your way," highlights the importance of steadfastness and divine guidance. Even for the Prophet ﷺ, whose heart was pure and connected to revelation, regular supplication for firmness was necessary. This teaches us that spiritual stability is a continual pursuit, requiring conscious effort, vigilance, and awareness of both internal and external influences. Protecting the heart from what leads to distraction, corruption, or chaos ensures that one remains focused, purposeful, and grounded in the path of Allah. Ultimately, the distinction is clear. One can choose to be like the person holding onto the handhold at the top of the garden, whose heart is settled, anchored, and firm, or like the person falling from the sky, carried by external forces, landing in confusion and chaos. The responsibility lies with each individual to anchor themselves in a meaningful, consistent, and fulfilling connection to Allah, engage in sincere spiritual practice, and guard their environment, companions, and influences. Through this conscious effort, the heart achieves peace, clarity, and purpose, aligning life with divine guidance and protecting oneself from distraction, chaos, and spiritual loss. Monotheism, remembrance of Allah, gratitude, and mindful practice serve as the stabilizing forces for the heart and life. Those who commit to this path experience true tranquility, while those who neglect it risk becoming scattered, directionless, and lost. The imagery provided in the Quran and the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ emphasize the profound consequences of anchoring or neglecting the heart, illustrating the necessity of deliberate spiritual effort, vigilance, and adherence to guidance. The pursuit of guidance, therefore, is not passive. It demands dedication, self-reflection, and conscious choices regarding one's thoughts, environment, and actions. Just as Abdullah embraced Islam wholeheartedly upon witnessing the Prophet ﷺ, sincerity of heart and intellect facilitates the reception of guidance. Regular dhikr, gratitude, and mindfulness strengthen the internal connection to Allah, while conscious awareness of influences, companions, and environment preserves the stability of the heart. In this way, one can remain firm upon the straight path, aligned with those who have earned Allah's favor, and protected from distraction, chaos, and spiritual fragmentation. This framework of anchoring, vigilance, and consistency applies individually, within families, and throughout communities, ensuring that the heart, mind, and life remain in harmony with divine guidance and purpose. Those who cultivate this connection experience peace and fulfillment that cannot be replicated by fleeting material pursuits, trends, or worldly distractions. The handhold at the top of the garden represents the highest potential of the heart, firmly anchored in Allah's guidance. The scattered heart, in contrast, illustrates the consequences of distraction, instability, and exposure to harmful influences. By seeking guidance, Actively maintaining a disciplined spiritual practice and cultivating a stabilizing environment, one ensures that the heart remains settled and connected, capable of enduring trials and thriving in purpose. Ultimately, the responsibility to secure this state lies with each individual, as divine guidance is granted to those who seek it sincerely, steadfastly, and with conscious effort.